Hello, boys and girls. We have now coded the princess, we've now coded the rock, and now we're going to code the apple. Now, the apple code is really nice because what I can do with the apple code is it's the same code as the rock with just a very few changes. So I'm going to come over here to the rock and I'm going to grab this over here and I'm going to drag it to the apple. So now that I've dragged it to the apple, there's a few changes I need to make. So I had already decided I wanted this to be my XY position. So I'm just going to come and I'm going to move that one and move this one over here. So that way I already have the XY position that I wanted. So now what I'm going to do, the things that change, I want when it touches the edge to go back to this position. So I'm going to change that position, and so that way. And then the last thing here is I'm going to change this one right here to 180 and a negative 151. So now I have the same code, but here is the other change. I want the score to change by a positive number when it hits the apple. So I'm going to change it by a positive number. So I change that by a positive number. So now when I play the game, if it hits the apple, it will get a point. If it hits the rock, it loses a point. So now I play it, press the space bar to jump. So I jump over it. And you see I'm not touching it. So there's the apple. But do you see that the apple and the rock are on top of each other? So here's a small thing that also needs to be changed. Instead of waiting this 2 seconds to show up, I'm going to change this to 3 seconds. So then the rock will show up. And then the apple shows up. So then they're not coming at the same time. So that was just a small debugging thing right there that you might see in your own project as well. Now the last thing I'm going to show you how to do is this game could go on forever. So what I want to be able to do is I want to put a stopping point. So on the princess, I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to add a forever loop. I'm going to say forever check. And I'm going to use a conditional that says if, and then I'm going to come down here to my operators and you see this equal sign, but sometimes I want to do if it goes equal or above. So I'm just going to do if it's more than. So I'm going to say if the score is more. So I'm going to come back over here to my variable. I'm going to add the word score. And I'm just going to change it to 10. You can change it to whatever, however long you want your game to be. Well, if the score is greater than 10, I'm going to have her say, we got enough food. And then there's a button down here, I think it's under controls, called stop all. So now after she says that and the score, now I'm going to say stop all. So now it will stop the code. So when the score equals 10, it will stop. So this is basically all there is left. And now we've got a functioning game. So as she jumps, she loses a point if she gets the rock. Okay, and then she would gain a point without the rock. I'm not sure why she's not jumping right now. Maybe I'm going to not put this on the jump thing. Maybe I'm going to put this on the flag. Let's see if that fixes that. Oh, because I want her to be able, there we go. So that was just another debugging thing there too. So that will help you to get your score, to be able to have a change in your game. And right now, if you're like, oh, she's not jumping high enough, so then maybe I could say I'm going to change that to 120. And then I'm going to change this one to negative 120, just to make it so she jumps just a little bit higher. So then you see how that is. So that is how you would conclude your game with making the apple and making an ending.